ever feel like, man, like it feels like I'm living to work, right? It feels like I'm just working all the time. I'm just jamming on stuff. I'm cramming on it. Or on the other side of it, a lot of people just work to live, right? A lot of people just work so that they can live. And I'm going to walk you through a life truth here that if you've ever kind of struggled with that, to say, well, shoot, how do I work to live instead of living to work, right? How do I do that? And how do you do that as an entrepreneur? Because I truly feel that as an entrepreneur, the equation is different. I think as an entrepreneur, the equation is different. Entrepreneurs are far different than the average person. And I'll kind of walk you through why.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Carrot Cast. Now, the Carrot Cast, we're usually diving in doing interviews with amazing real estate investors, amazing real estate agents. Now, in these episodes, every Thursday, they're the Trevor Truck Talks, where you get to hear behind the scenes of the mindset shifts I'm going through as a CEO of one of the fastest growing companies in America, and the mindset shifts you can take to run your business and win back your freedom as well. Let's dive into this episode.
You've probably heard the phrase, living to work versus working to live. And in this episode of Trevor Truck Talk on the way to the office after dropping my kids off to school, I kind of want to tease out that concept. If you ever feel like, man, like it feels like I'm living to work, right? It feels like I'm just working all the time. I'm just jamming on stuff. I'm cramming on it. Or on the other side of it, a lot of people just work to live, right? A lot of people just work so that they can live. And I'm going to walk you through a life truth here that if you've ever kind of struggled with that, to say, well, shoot, how do I work to live instead of living to work, right? How do I do that? And how do you do that as an entrepreneur? Because I truly feel that as an entrepreneur, the equation is different. I think as an entrepreneur, the equation is different. Entrepreneurs are far different than the average person. And I'll kind of walk you through why. So before I help you hopefully have a mindset shift around living to work versus working to live, or the other way around, right? I want to kind of plant a seed. And so one of the things I'm most excited about, one of the things that gives me the most energy, that gives me life, is our event Carrot Camp. And Carrot Camp, guys, we opened it up for May of this year. If you're listening to this in 2022, it sold out in about 48 hours, which is one of the fastest that we've ever had it sell out. And it's not a cheap event, y'all. It's a few $1,000s, and not an expensive event either, but for what you guys get, 2 full days here in Roseburg, Oregon, Carrot HQ, with 14 other amazing investors, agents, hybrids. There's a lot of hybrids now, y'all. And we have, one of the reasons it sold out so fast is we have, I think, 6 or 7 returning Carrot campers coming to this one event. And people keep on coming back time after time. And so we're going to be doing some things this year to probably add to our Carrot Camp series. We'll see. We're cooking up something. But we decided to open up a second Carrot Camp in May. We're going to do back-to-back Carrot Camps again. We already have, I think, 10 to 12 of those spots filled up. And if you guys want to join us for this Carrot Camp, it's going to be an amazing, amazing event, life-changing, business-changing. Go to carrotcamp.com, carrotcamp.com. Second announcement for y'all. If you're listening to this before March 31st, we have an event called Carrot Summit, carrotsummit.com. If you're listening to this after March 31st, guys, still go there because you guys can get the recordings of the entire event. But it's 2 full days. Shoot, I think it's 25 speakers. It's pretty much 12 hours each day. I'm going to be jamming live streaming for 12 hours both of those days, on March 30th and 31st. And we're just going to be cranking on it. So I've got Mr. Pace Morby, a good friend, who's starting the event off. And then who's going to be finishing the event is Tom Ferry, the biggest real estate agent coach in the world. And between there, we have tons of our most successful Carrot clients. We have Tim Bratz, owns $400 million in multifamily, my friend, who's coming on there, and so many others, guys. So go to carrotsummit.com. It's completely free to watch it live. If you want to get the recordings, it's only a couple $100 during or after the event. And if you are hearing this before the event, you can get a pre-event pricing for just $100 for all 20 plus hours of content. All right, guys, so let's talk about living to work versus working to live. So I want to walk through this life truth, and I'm gonna read it here as I'm heading up to the office. And this one I actually got from a guy that I really, really like. I've been following him a lot. I actually originally heard about this guy. His name is Craig Valentine. probably 10 years ago. And Craig Valentine came out of the fitness industry, and then he ended up buying a company from a guy that I'm invested in a software company with. If you guys have ever read the book Ready, Fire, Aim, or heard of Early to Rise, a guy named Michael Masterson, this is his pen name. His real name is Mark Ford. He's worth hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, and he's just an amazing entrepreneur. So Mark and I invested in a software company years ago together. Him and I are the two investors. And that company now is the 26th fastest growing company in the Southeast region, according to Inc. magazine. And it's me and Mark funded that business. And it's a multi-million-dollar software company now, in addition to Carrot, which is exciting. But the reason I'm bringing up Mark is because this guy named Craig bought Early to Rise. And Early to Rise was a resource that I tapped into quite a bit. And it was like a daily newsletter that helped you kind of be more healthy, wealthy, and wise was their tagline. And so Craig took it over, and he could not have been a better guy to take this over. So I'm going to read this from his book. I think it's called The Perfect Week Formula. You guys can get it for free and dive into it, guys. Amazing, amazing resource. Okay, so here we go. So living to work versus working to live, y'all. As an entrepreneur, high performer, you're not like normal people, okay? Normal people, guys, do not live to work. They plan their weeks around fun and exciting adventures, or their favorite Netflix series, right? It's something that is most common is most people are working to live, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. So they, like I said, they plan their weeks around fun and exciting adventures. They live for the weekends. They, oftentimes when Monday comes, they don't want to show up to work, okay? And they go to work out of obligation and necessity, not because they're passionate about their work oftentimes, not because they love what they're doing. For us empire builders, for us entrepreneurs who are wanting to build empires and really truly impact the world and create for the world, not just consume, it's a different story, right? You need to intentionally design your life so that you have non-work, non-negotiable activities that you enjoy doing. Without those non-work, non-negotiable activities, without them, we'll kind of default back to work mode, right? We default back to work mode. We find a way to stay busy even when it doesn't serve you. And so I'm going to read parts of this here again in my life truths list. But at the end of the day, as empire builders and entrepreneurs, oftentimes we become entrepreneurs because we don't like the work that we're in, right? We're running away from a job we don't like, a career that we're not pumped about, whatever it is. And so then we think that starting our own business is going to give us freedom. And it could be a house flipper, it could be a wholesaler, it could be a real estate agent, it could be a software company owner, it could be starting a bank, like, I don't know, whatever it is, right? And then eventually, we get that energy by starting that business. Oftentimes, that's where that energy comes. It's like, man, I'm creating, I'm starting something from scratch. I'm starting something new. There's a lot of energy and creativity that comes from that. And then we end up getting into maintenance mode oftentimes. Once we get that business successful, it's making some money. Then we start to go, oh my gosh, right? How do I continue to get energy and creativity from this? So when we're in the mode as an entrepreneur, we want to create. And we oftentimes love our work. If you're in a spot where you don't love your work, where it's draining your energy, I encourage you to go to carrot.com/energy. That's carrot.com/energy and get the energy audit. Okay, the energy audit is going to walk you through exactly what you need to do every single quarter to win your energy back and enjoy your work more. Okay, completely free resource. But if you enjoy your work, we oftentimes just choke out everything else, right? We choke out our hobbies. We choke out hanging out with friends. We choke out sometimes the workout. We choke out the other things in our life that we liked a lot before we became an entrepreneur and before work consumed our lives. And we have to kind of reflect on that. We have to ask, is this what I wanted? Is this what I had built my business for? Did I build my business so I'd be working all the time? Did I build my business so I would always be chasing the next thing or doing the next project? And like this life truth says, if we don't intentionally plan non-work, non-negotiables that we enjoy doing, like working out, like hanging out with friends, like going to events, like playing golf, like doing whatever you love to do. If we don't plan those things, guys, you will default to working more. That's just what we'll do. So I have a question for you. How do you want your average day to be? How do you want your average week to be? How do you want your life to be? And is your current life that life? Are you living that life right now? And if you're not living that life right now, and the reason I'm even bringing up this episode, guys, is because with all of us, we all have to continually reflect. We all have to continually prune. We all have to continually adjust. And I'm in a season right now where I'm starting to come out of it, and I've talked about lots of seasons for me on this podcast. If you've listened to this for years, there's income seasons, right? Where originally I was making nothing, and then I was making tens of thousands per month, and then hundreds of thousands per month, and then millions per month. And in each one of those seasons, there's a financial adjustment that happens. You get used to that dollar amount. It's called the hedonic adaptation. You adapt to the thing that would have been amazing a year ago, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it is. You adapt to that. Now that's the new normal. Now it's not special anymore. Now it doesn't give you energy, doesn't give you excitement. So chasing more and doing more work does not lead to that purpose and happiness. We have to intentionally plan those non-negotiables. So how do you do that? I'll give you a couple examples of some things I've done this past month to get back into it. And some of them I've had for quite some time, and they've helped me big time kind of, have more of that level and consistent just energy from outside work activities. So one of the things that I plugged into about a year ago was I do a Wednesday morning Bible study. So every Wednesday morning, just after 6 o'clock, me and 3 friends and mentors, we get together there in the office before everybody's up and before anyone's downtown. And we just hang out. We hang out for about an hour and a half, and we talk life. We talk everything. And then we do a Bible study. And that for me has been a really, really energy and life-giving thing, because it's fellowship, right? I get to connect with people, and I get to really dive in and really just study the scripture, study the word. And that for me has just been life-giving. Another thing that I do as well that's non-negotiable is my workout. Now, in a season last year, I did 75 hard. I'm going to kick that back up again. I've kind of struggled with some consistency lately. And so I'm working out 3 days a week, which is not enough. I've talked about that on previous episodes. 3 days a week is enough to maintain. It's not enough to gain unless you're starting from scratch, right? But once you get into a routine, you have to be moving every day. It can't be a 3-day week. So I'm moving back towards that because that's life-giving for me. But I kind of let work choke that out for the last several months. I kind of let work choke out my everyday workout. And I'm like, I'm fitting in my Monday, Wednesday, and Friday now. Okay, and it can't be that way anymore. So I've got the Monday, Wednesday, Friday. My coach Paul is in there. Seth, my mentor and friend, is in there on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And now I'm going to be kicking up swimming again. And so starting next week, I'm going to be kicking up my swimming again. That's going to be a non-negotiable Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday workouts, and then going on bike rides or walks with the family on weekends and really getting physical with that. Again, non-negotiable work activity that gives me life. Okay, now how do we make them non-negotiable? Well, for me, you have to set a goal, okay? Just doing the thing, and I've talked about this before, how to set active goals, how to change and really reignite a pattern in your life. If you're at a spot where you're not having fun, or if you're in a spot where you're not focusing on fitness, or you're not focusing on health, or you're not focusing on friends, or you're not focusing on your finances well, or you're not focusing on your faith, whatever those F's are for you, if you're in a season where you're not focusing on those things, the best way to kick it back into gear is, number one, you got to focus, unless it's finance, you have to schedule a non-negotiable, non-work activity around that. Okay, so let's say it's fitness. Like I'm focusing on really ramping that back up again. My non-negotiable is Monday, Wednesday, Friday workouts in the gym, and Tuesday, Thursday swims in there. Next non-negotiable is I've signed up for a sprint triathlon this year. It'll be in early summer, and that gives me a goal to work towards. So that's the second part of making that change in scheduling those non-negotiables, is plant a stake in the ground. Say, this is something that's happening. Make a public claim for it. Okay, so me, I'm going, hey, I'm doing a sprint triathlon in June. Okay, awesome. It's happening. There's a certain date. It's on my calendar. I've got something to work for. It's specific. It's time-based, right? Time-based and specific. I know when it is, and I know exactly what it is. Okay, don't just say work out 3 days a week. Okay, because if you miss one of those days, then you start to feel bad about yourself. Right? We feel bad about ourselves if we just do work out 2 days a week. But maybe you got good enough workout in those 2 days a week versus the 3. Like, don't set a goal to work out 3 days a week. You can say every day move. I'm going to move every day for 20 minutes. Awesome. Okay, that's a great goal. But why are you moving every day? What is it that's going to motivate you to move every day? And that's where signing up for a race or something like that can help. The last part of the equation is accountability. Is how are we going to have accountability? So with my Bible study, the accountability is I know those guys are going to be there at 6:15 in the morning every single Wednesday. So I've got to show up. Okay. With our Sunday group, we get together with a few families every Sunday and just have dinner. We break bread, we have dinner, and that's a non-negotiable. Even if we're tired, even if we don't want to do it, even if we had a full day Sunday, we go and hang out with those three families on Sunday and have dinner. And we rotate from house to house to house. Non-negotiable work activity gives us life. Okay. What are some other areas and ways that you can do it? Well, some things I'm looking at right now is that I've been through a season as we've been building this company and buying back some time. I've been through a season where I've honestly kind of been in my office a lot too much, like way more than I want to be in my office. And so I'm going to be kicking up a non-work, non-negotiable. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. It might be golf once a week, but I need to get my wrist healed up. I slipped on some ice about a month ago and I thought I broke my wrist, and it's not broken, but it still hurts. It might be golf once a week with friends. It might be, going and doing a hike once a week, and it's always the same time. One thing that we did set up that is happening, and we're going to be doing it every single month on Thursday, the third Thursday of each month, is we're doing a office or a loft social hour. Okay, so the loft is the entrepreneur co-workspace that I own. And we've decided, hey, guys, way too many of us got in patterns where we're focusing on work too much, and then work absorbs that time, right? So we have to be intentional setting non-negotiable, non-work activities. So we're creating an once a month, third Thursday social hour. I don't run it. Someone else in the loft stepped up to do it. I'll supply the drinks and things like that. But we're getting everybody who offices in our co-workspace together every single month just to hang out. And it's non-negotiable. It's happening. It's on the calendar. Can I miss one here or there? Yeah, I can if I have an obligation, I'm out of town, but I'm always going to be there if I'm in town, and it's fun. Okay. So I have this question to ask of you as you wrap it up. Okay. Are you living to work, or are you working to live? And I'm going to read this life truth again. Then I want to have you pull away this week to create at least one non-negotiable, non-work activity to put back in your life. Okay. Because I don't want work to choke your life out. I don't want work to dominate it. And we oftentimes say, when people say, at masterminds, hey guys, I've got my slide up here, and I do this the reason I do this is for my family. The reason I do this is for my kids and my wife, or my kids and my husband. And then we let work completely choke out the things that are life-giving for us and for our kids and for our family. We say it's for them, but then we don't give them the time. Right? So living to work versus working to live. As an entrepreneur and high performer, you're not like normal people. Okay. Normal people do not live to work. They plan their weeks around fun, exciting adventures, or their favorite Netflix series, and they go to work out of obligation and necessity. And now, guys, that's not a bad thing. Okay. But that for us, the way that we're wired, that's not life-giving. Okay, we're here to make an impact. We're here to change people's lives. We're here to go out there and create, not just consume, right? For us empire builders, it's different. You need to intentionally design your life so that you have non-work, non-negotiable activities that you enjoy doing. Without them, you will default to work mode and find a way to stay busy even when it doesn't serve you. Okay, guys, so I want to leave you with that. Go to carrotsummit.com and either check it out live if this is before March 31st, 2022, or go to carrotsummit.com and grab the recordings, which will be worth it, guys. There's going to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of net worth on this call. There's going to be the biggest and baddest investors and agents in the industry leading sessions on it, and you get access to all of it, all 24 hours of content for under $200. And we're going to give you our last two summits recordings as well. One of them was almost all about hybrid, moving to hybrid as an investor or as an agent, and some other amazing topics for just ramping up your lead generation. And also, guys, go to carrotcamp.com. I'd love to see you here, right here where I'm sitting right now. You're going to be right here with me in Carrot HQ in Roseburg, Oregon. We limit it at 15 people every single Carrot Camp to keep it crazy small, crazy intimate. It's probably the smallest event that's possibly in this industry by intention, and we're not going to make the event more than 15 people. Number one, that's all that we can fit in the space comfortably. And number two, it's enough to really get to know everyone very, very well, very individually. Go to carrotcamp.com, check out the video, check out high caliber people who have come. Max Maxwell's been a paid attendee. Brad Chandler, one of the biggest home buyers in the country, paid attendee. Just so many people, guys, who are literally some of the biggest home buyers in the country. Or David Ledko, the owner of Deal Machine, is going to be coming to this next one. And we have just such amazing, amazing players. Check it out. All right, guys, live to work versus work to live. Go create non-negotiable, non-work activities in your life and see what that does to amp up your joy in life. And also, it's actually going to amp up your income, because you're going to not resent your business anymore that is choking out all of your time. And it's going to fire you up to do the work even more because you're taking time to do the things you enjoy. All right, guys, see you soon.